right? So this train wreck over here, this war over here, this motherfucker steals billions over here, this person gets murdered over here, this person kills, this person frames her boyfriend, gets a boyfriend put in prison, right? So you have all these fucking verticals taking place simultaneously, hitting you all at once, and you think the world is melting. It's taking place around the world 24/7. It's very hard to digest because we're not used to it, right? Usually up until, I don't know, 50 years ago, you would never hear about all this tragedy all at once. And it's very easy in a world that is prone to negativity and forged for criticism and for the selling of blood. And what I mean by the selling of blood is that blood sells, right? You put blood on TV, it sells. You talk shit about somebody on the internet, it sells. But the good stuff, the value, the things that nurture people's souls, nobody shares that. Nobody talks about that. And it's those things that we often neglect, but they're still there. So my recommendation, first of all, is before we even look at the markets, is understand, have an internal conversation with yourself. Before you look at the condition outside, look at yourself and ask yourself, what is my condition internally? Am I swayed by every doctrine that's out there? Am I swayed by every article that's out there? Does every piece of information that's out there move me like a little boat rocking in the middle of the ocean, or do I have control? Yes, I have this data set, this information, but I'm still grounded in my truth, in my goals, and my principles, and nothing that is around me, circumstantial, will guide me away from it. So being able to understand what's taking place in the world as a data set, not allowing it to impact you spiritually or emotionally, and allowing that information to be utilized to build the future that you want. And unfortunately, there's a lot of negative shit, there's a lot of bad shit taking place every single day in the world, and it can be really hard to deal with and cope with. But at the end of the day, it's ebbs and flows, right? So there's this universal law known as the law of opposites, right? And this idea is that for every good amount of energy, there's an equal proportion bad energy, right? It's how the matrix keeps itself in check, right? It's how you're correct. It's how the matrix keeps itself in balance. So shit's taking place in Turkey. Somewhere else in the world, somebody's benefiting in equal proportion, but on the positive side of that energy. You could say it's the law of opposites, but you could also say it's the second law of thermodynamics, which is energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed. And if you look at transformations, it's all kind of like a spectrum. So heat and cold, for example, are a spectrum of what? The same exact thing. It's just how you perceive it. But it's just temperature, right? Or temperature, once again, is a measurement, but it's not really real. But it's how you perceive that spectrum. It's the same thing with good and bad. It's all within a spectrum, and it's your ability to gauge your worldview that's going to allow you to navigate that positively, negatively, with a good attitude, a bad attitude, with positivity and expectation, or with dread and doubt. It's all about your perspective, and it needs to be grounded based off of your principles so that then you can absorb all of the information outside and begin to create the future that you want.